I'm going to save this file as this Design Showdown Competition Lesson 2. Chord square, save as. So that it doesn't clutter with backup files. Lesson 2. Okay, so we're looking at two slabs. If I look at a front view, that one's sitting at 0. This one's sitting at 11.8. The floor-to-floor height is 11.8. Right? What's 11.8? What's the significance of 11.8? It's a perfect multiple of 7 inches. 11 times 12, 132 plus 8 is 140, and divided by 7 comes out to a neat 20 risers. Cool. Let's go to floor plan, top view, and turn on visibility for the underlay, and hide floor 1. So the idiot that put this together left out a row of columns across the front. So we're going to use the basement drawing to establish our column locations and ignore whatever's drawn here. Let us do this. Create a layer for the underlay basement. Underlay basement image. And we're going to make a copy of this thing and paste it in place and move it to the basement underlay image, because then what we're going to do is shift it over to the left and use it as a template for the columns. So I'm going to hide underlay image, take this, let's see how far we have to move it. About 42 feet. We can align it a little better when we look at the floor. So I'm moving that way. 42.2, I think it was. 42.2. Theoretically, I could move this to the basement. We'll see what we're drawing, right? Because this is a group, I can assign it a component attribute as well. So say I wanted, let's turn on the floor 1, and our second floor is on. So if I go to isometric view, I have both slabs there. I can set a Z attribute for this thing which has no thickness and set it at minus 11.8. Right? And then I'll be drawing on top of the basement slab. So in order to do that more effectively, I should hide floor 1. Let's go to a top view. Now we can model the columns. This is a point where I might want to rotate the orientation of everything to be orthographic with this side. It's going to make life a little bit easier to model the columns. So with everything on, remember nothing is locked. We're going to have to measure the angle from here to there. So the angle that we want to rotate is about 7.5 degrees. I'm going to rotate everything. Does that make sense? All right, everything in this drawing. So I'm going to select everything in the drawing. Or Control A, select all. Go to a top view and select the rotate tool, endpoint, endpoint, and it snaps to the green axis. Now it's really important to understand what I've just done, because what this allows me to do is draw these columns orthographically. All right, not all of them. There's a slight radial disposition of that wall, so these are not square. But these are square to my drawing. Enough said. I don't want this to get too long, so let's start modeling columns and structural elements. We'll need two outside of the building as well. So I'm turning off underlay image 1, hiding floor 1, I'm going to be drawing on the basement floor, so we'll go into X-ray mode because this image is sitting right on top of that. Let's go to top view. My columns are going to be 11/8, right? Floor to, well, less 10/8. So this is probably some kind of structural oh no, the building said steel. Okay, the column is going to be modeled 11/8 in height. That means they're going to show up through the floor. Select the rectangle tool. What is that? 1919. I'm going to make these 24, 24. Right? Double click. Let's just move these so it covers. The drawings aren't exact, so I just want to make sure that I cover whatever structural element might be there. We've seen this in pictures, right? We saw photographs of the place. I think there's a... Well, we'll look in a minute. I like to draw columns. I like to see what I'm doing, so I'm switching to ISO mode. Oh, we don't need this anymore. Well, we'll leave it there for now. That was we're gonna push this 11 feet 8. Why am I using 11/8 and not 10/8 to go to the underside of the floor above? So because it's easy to remember, and it's written down in this as an annotation there. I'm genericizing, if you will, this column. I'm generically triple click, make it a component, because it is a component. It's not going to change. It may change orientation. This is structural column. Now, in most buildings, the columns in the basement are more massive than the ones above. They're usually more slender as you climb through the building. As you go on upper floors, the basement may use some kind of massive concrete pilings, whatever. Upper floors may be steel, and then they enclose those in some kind of fireproofing material, and then furring walls. Let's go to plan view again, top view, and make copies of this column. Lock the green axis in place there. Copy it again, locking the green axis in place. Copy it in that direction. You got to be careful not to snap to something, so let's see. Good. Top. Copy in green axis. Remember, we rotated this in order to work orthographically here. And again, in that direction, tap the control key, move copy. Now, we're doing a little bit of investigative work. There should be something supporting the facade in that location. The building is a curtain wall, but there's got to be some structural something here. And finally, we need columns along here that are slightly off axis. I'm going to take these three guys, copy them that way, and then rotate them into place slightly. Rotate. From this point that way there, and then we got to move them into place as well, and that'll be enough. Oh, they're already selected, so let's just move very carefully in that direction. That's about right. Right? Slightly out of alignment over there, but this drawing's not very accurate anyway. That saved as lesson 2 columns. That was about 15 minutes. That's not bad. Then, so let's see what we have so far in the model. I'm going to save another scene. Save it as new style. Why not? Right click. Rename column basement work X-ray. Give it something meaningful so you know what the heck it is. Let's see. 3D isometric view. Turn off. X-ray style. Hide the underlay. Remember, we use that to... Oh, we're missing one in the corner. Sorry. Good thing we kept this X-ray view. Move. Okay, we'll move a copy of this. Trying to infer that axis. All right, we'll move it on the green axis and then move it into place. And now move it this way. Red axis. There we go. That's the axis I was trying to infer. Okay, isometric. Let's turn off visibility of the... sorry about that texture. That's the basement floor, which we'll paint over. Floor 1, hide so I could select all these columns now and copy them to the first floor. Go to the outliner. Let's add the outliner to window, default tray. We need the outliner though. Pick the columns. So I'm just going to select all of them. Alright, and then move copy. The easiest way to do this is just to go vertically a distance of 11.8, right? 11.8. There you go. Well, yeah, okay, they're overlapping. Should have been 12.8. Move it up another foot. On the blue axis, 12. Is that right? What have I done? It's slightly off. Let's measure. We want the floor-to-floor height to be precise, so let's see. From the top of the column, to that end point, 11.4. For some reason I'm off 4 inches, so I'm going to move up another 4 inches. I'm not sure why that happened. 4. Now we're done. File, save, and that ends Court Square Design 2020 Showdown Lesson 2. SketchUp. 20 minutes.